Good day and welcome to Xuviate Business Agility Daily, where we help leaders reimagine how work can flow. In this fourth video in our mini-series, we will take a look at your flow efficiency and how you can dive a bit deeper. Sometimes it feels like work is just not flowing like it should, and it's a bit like with the road where we do get regular, even constant congestions. It is then helpful to get a bird's eye view over time and see what is actually happening. Kanban metrics do have a few ways to slice and dice our historic data to get just such a view. So the first graph we are going to look at today is the flow efficiency graph. And as you can see, it has got a percentage, which would mean the percentage of time that we're actually working on tasks, that they are not in queues and that they are not blocked. If we are looking at this graph here, this team has got a flow efficiency percentage of 35%. This is already very good. When we are starting, one would normally see flow efficiencies in the region of 5 to 10%. Looking at the options here, we do have some inputs. We can, for example, say we want to disregard block days, but we can see that this doesn't make much of a difference. The big thing that we are seeing in this process is actually the queuing stages, and I did put them in already. You would have to define them here. And whilst it does give us a good overview, and we can slice and dice a bit deeper, it is very difficult to work with such a high-level overview in detail. This is where one of my favorite tools comes in, and that is a cycle time heat map. Already here we can see this is again the same development team that I used before that has got weekly deployment cycles, sometimes 2 or 3 weekly deployment cycles. And we can clearly see that this is depicted here because lots is waiting for that. And we can see that the big one is we've got features coding, which we would expect because this is a development team. One thing we would probably not have expected is this waiting for testing. And this is where we delve a bit deeper. This here is, for example, by person. I've anonymized it, but we can clearly see that there's one person, and that is actually the head tester, that is very much loaded. The other person we can see is the product owner. Again, we are waiting for deployment, but then also user acceptance testing is very high on both of these people as well. But as per usual, we can also zoom in and let's just look at this year's data. And here we can clearly see that work has been done on this, and we've only got the big problem on waiting for staging deploy, and then the user acceptance testing of the product owner is still also a problem. I think you can see why I like this graph so much. I just want to touch on one last one, and that is the throughput run chart, which is actually a combination of the cycle time scatter plot and histogram because it shows us the daily throughput by time. As we can see, there are quite a few days that have got high throughput, whereas we've got lots of days that don't have that much. And if we want to look at it a bit closer, we can, for example, also look at it by week. And now we can clearly again see those weekly deployment cycles, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 weeks in between. And if we're looking at a throughput trend, we can see it was generally about 15 a week. But this year, it is suddenly lower. What's happening there? Now we can delve deeper. So the actionable tip for today is Kanban metrics do provide us with several ways to get high-level overviews of our workflow, but then also to dig a lot deeper and identify potential bottlenecks and flow inefficiencies.